that all of a sudden God gonna just swing a wand at the earth and it's just gonna get better. No, it's not gonna get better. The earth is not gonna get better without a special species called the church. So I believe that we need to vote. I believe that we need to do certain things. We need to respond to certain ways that that normal humanity does. But there's some venues and there's some rules of engagement that's been committed to the church, to our stewardship. And we need to be wise in how we steward it, so that the earth can be filled. Every time you submit to God, see the city I was talking about is coming down. Every time there's healing, deliverance, salvation, the city is going to be more and more visible. And then the darkness is going to begin to dissipate, and then light's going to start prevailing. But it's finding the issue in people in church. We haven't behaved wisely as it relates to some of the things that God has committed to us. If we were honest this morning, most of us probably don't care, but for the ones that's at least hard between two opinions, we know what I just said is correct. If we looked at our lives over 5 days, the other 5, the 2 that we sanctify, but the other 5 days is probably a little bit mixture. If we were to adjust and let the 5 become the 2, or let the knowledge from the 2 begin to filter into the 5, things could change. But we live in segregation. But I believe it. I believe things are going to change. I believe the church is going to begin to rise. Also, I believe it's time to wake up and take our dominion, our inheritance. I believe that God has placed us, the church and the earth, as his trumpet, as his voice. I believe we are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and the planting of the Lord. We need to know that. We need to know what? We are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and the planting of the Lord. Your salvation, and whatever family you're in or connected to, your own salvation is a sign that God is interested in your family. I believe that. I believe my baby is going to serve the Lord. The ones that's from my loins and the ones that's not. I believe that my cousins, my uncles, my aunts, and all that, somewhere along the line, I'm going to keep getting busy about my father's business. I'll leave the results up to God. But I believe, maybe it'll be 30 years from now, when I'm probably going to my reward. How old am I? 50? Oh, wait, no, I won't be. 40 years from now. 40. 50 more. Yeah, let's tack another 50. Amen. Tack another 50. So 50 years from now, they'll be able to sit back and say, my Uncle Steve, he was straight up. They might be, at that time, they might be 60 and I might be 100. They may be thinking about, well, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and give Jesus a try. I done tried everything else. No, I'm just saying, I think they're going to get saved before then, but. But we're a living testimony. We're earnest to what God wants to do with our generation. So we got to behave ourselves wisely. We got to be intentional and deliberate in how we project our lives, so they can have something to work with. Give them a visible display of God's goodness. They can say, wow! You never know who's looking at you. And a lot of our kids and children, they struggle with God because of what we represent to them as God. You don't clap. They're going to get a lot of clap. We so up and down. They be like, I ain't getting on that ride. Let me know when you get to the destination I get on. But I ain't, that's too much going on. There's a lot of drama. You talking about who you hate in the church. Nobody want to be around all that. Come on now. How many of those folks go home and talk about the church? Then the kids listen to it. You're supposed to be on a team or some type of team, and you're up here.
Amen, that's the truth.
Just airing out all the business. It's one thing we didn't do. Never discuss church stuff around our kids. They don't need any help not to come to God. I didn't want to be a preacher. I didn't want to find myself fighting against God. If I had anything to say, it was not said around my children. Still to this day, I'm very cautious. I'm protecting that ground.
Amen.
You can defile that seed. I know you loose. You got no boundaries. But there's some things that our kids don't need to hear about church. I'm protecting them. You know, they're just nitpicking, pointing at folks, saying, look at them, I should be in that position. They ain't no good. They ain't got no, but you ain't got no structure. You got no order. You can't submit. You ain't committed. You ain't offering nothing, but you got a lot to say.
Woo.
You got nothing to say if you ain't connected. If you ain't offering anything, you ain't sacrificed. Don't speak into it. People ask me about the plane. With Jesse, DuPlan was trying to get a plane. They were trying to prod me in that conversation. I ain't got nothing to say. My budget ain't that large. Right. What am I going to say about that? I don't know. I ain't never handled a $16 million budget. Huh? Jesus, her brother be like, I'm going to lick my chops and get him to start talking. I don't know. Leave that for the heathen to discuss.
Amen.
Not the redeemed of the Lord.
Amen.
We don't play them games, try to figure out this and that. I don't know, some stuff, yeah, I have conversations with leaders and stuff and other people on certain things, but I'm not prone to toss my hat into that fray. I know my boundaries, because every seed has a harvest. Every seed. Folks say, well, I don't know why I can't connect to the church. Well, what you're saying. What's coming out of your mouth? That's why. Duh. Then we find two people like us touch and agree. Then we have undercover conversation. I know it's in here. I know who the people are. That's on them. They gotta. I love them to death. That's between them and God. I'm gonna keep moving on and hope you turn from your ways. Just make up in your mind. Say, you know what? My bad. You ain't gotta tell me. Just say, God, you know what? I defiled my ground. Deliverance won't do it. Fasting won't do it. Changing churches won't do it. A broken and contrite spirit will do it. Yeah. Till your spirit is broken and contrite, and you come to the know that, man, that was bogus. This is a thought. God, sometimes God don't speak King James. He just say, you hear him say, that was bogus. Man, that was wild. That was way out. You ever anybody hear God spoke to me a few times, and man, that's pretty wild there, Steve. I'm like, oh, okay. Do I need to back this up or what? I'm here to tell you. We want him to say, Stephen, you know what the word says, that you will defile your harvest. Your tongue is set on the fires of hell. That's what we want. We want the verse too to back it up. Oh Lord, what's that verse? Will a man tempt God? Oh yeah, we will. Trust me, we will tempt God. We want, see, when God is entering our space, we want all the details. Come on. But when we found a space or something we like, we don't want full disclosure. It's only when God is challenging us, we want, am I right? We want full disclosure. Tell me how it's going to happen. Tell me how I'm going to feel. Where you taking me to. But when it's what you want, no. You don't want nobody around, you're just going to go solo. Come on, a kamikaze. I'm just going to take this by myself. I got this. Move out of the way. Let me hurry up so I can close today. I said I was going to close. Can I have about 10 more minutes, y'all? Good, thank you. So we are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, the planting of the Lord. I believe it. That it's time for us to wake up and take our inheritance. Wake up to take our inheritance. Not necessarily take per se, but receive our inheritance. Because we don't take it. Amen. We receive it. Amen. I also believe, I think there's 12, right? If it ain't, you probably messed up by now. But I believe we become King's Highway. The trade route between heaven and earth. I believe this, y'all. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to talk about that at a later date. But I believe it. I believe the gates. We become the trade route. I believe when God wants to do something on earth, he's going to come through a people. We'll talk about that later. Number 13. I believe although we've been quickened through Christ to live a life that's born from above, we are connected to God and each other. Oh, which collectively brings forth the fullness of his life on earth as it is in heaven. I got to be connected to others. We're in the season that God, I believe God will start speaking to some of y'all to start repairing relationships.
Amen.
Looking for reconciliation. I believe it. Don't clap me if you don't have no intent. But I really believe that God is in the season right now for you to go say, you know what, I blew this. Because I believe there was some Cornelius connections that were supposed to help us. I believe there was some Barnabas that was supposed to help us. I believe there were some connections that God had put into our life, but we didn't value them. And God is going to show you. One thing I don't do, there's some things I don't do. I don't mess up relationships. Oh, that's real funny. Are you serious? Preacher? Yeah. I put back. If I find somebody, I connect with them, I will fight tooth and nail. I will fight to the death unless God somehow brings it apart. But I will not have any blood on my hands. I'm going to lift up holy hands without wrath or doubting. Yep, no warfare. It's not going to be on my bequest. It's not going to be because it's war in my heart. It ain't going to be because I'm jealous or envy or don't like them or it's not on my watch. I'm sent to serve. A servant heart. When you really have the spirit of a servant, you can't decide on the terms of the agreement. So what you do, you don't try to pick and choose who you're going to serve, you just serve.
Amen.
And then everybody that come next to that, come within that sphere, that sector, come into your realm, gets the overflow of the heart, the level of humility that you have, because you can't be a servant without humility. And if relationships are being broken, it's because of pride. Only by pride comes contention. That's Proverbs 13:10. Only by pride. Somebody's wrong, somebody been aggravated, somebody won't take the low road, somebody want to stand up as a king when God calls him to be a priest. It's easy to be a king, y'all. It's easy to be the lead dog. It's easy to be the only voice. That's why I try to include, that's why I like round tables, because it's